Hey guys, I'm going to be going through the markets and some of the strong sectors today. This week I'm going to do Heiken Ashi charts, candlesticks, and I'm going to use a weekly time frame. And this allows you to see the trends better. So Heiken Ashi candles are where they average the previous candle as well, and there's a bunch of math involved, but it smooths out the trends so that you just get more green and red candles like this. Also, the weekly helps to show you trends as well, that you might get caught up in a lot of bouncing back up and down in the daily charts. So up here in TC2000, if you click on the whatever the symbol is, the weekly, and you edit, you can see here it's on Heiken Ashi. So you have, I usually use candlestick, and then you can pick the colors you want, how the fill, if it's filled candle or not, stuff like that. And then you've got also time frames up here. And if you want to see a different one, there's a little arrow, and you can pick a whole bunch. And if you want to get TC2000, check out the link in the description. You get a free trial or $25 off your purchase. I've got gold plan and real-time US data, and that also shows you aftermarket movement, price action. So anyway, what you can do also is, I have tabs down here, Heiken Ashi candle, so you can just copy a tab. Like, so if I have this tab open, right click on it and duplicate, and then you can just go in and change the candle. So you can use everything else the same, but you just have a different candle if you wanted to. So anyway, this week was strong for some of the rebounds, like on the markets. So we had this downtrend in various markets, and especially Nasdaq, and a lot of people are jumping, buying the dip as of the last few days, and you can do that as an option, as a strategy, but if you look at the weekly charts, you're in a downtrend. You've got a doji, which is a bit of a weak candle because obviously these are strong downs, and then a little bit smaller candlesticks now, and there's a doji. So, and this momentum is a little bit moving up here. So this is a possible reversal point. But if you're using weekly candles especially, it's too early to switch at this point. If we roll back so I use the wheel on the mouse, and I can sort of go back in time. There's different ways to do it. There's also this little slider here. I can move it to a previous location. You see these long green up candle trends weekly. So that's kind of what I'm looking for. So some people did buy right at the reversal, which was a Fed announcement on the 23rd of March. And this week we had Feds talk about, the Federal Reserve talk about interest rate hikes. So, that is obviously a potential important pivot point. But like I said, with the charts, on the weekly charts, that would be too early to get in. So you don't have to catch the exact bottom. You just want to ride that uptrend. So let's go to IWM. So it was pretty flat, then a downtrend, and then another flat period. So again, a little bit of a curve up in the momentum here, but too early for any major reversals. But the dojis and that could signal that it's consolidating and it's not really a strong downtrend anymore. S&P 500, similar, didn't go down as much as Nasdaq, but you have a doji now, potential reversal point, but not exactly where I would get in. I want to see a green candle, a bigger green up candle, and the green volatility stops. But it is a possibility. Dow Jones, a bit of a bigger up candle than a doji. It's still small, but you know, the Dow and the SPY didn't go down as much as the NASDAQ, and it's looking better, you know, in terms of the candles. But we'll have to keep an eye on this for a reversal point. I'll take a look at the Toronto Stock Exchange. So that was the strongest because Toronto, Canada has oil and gas as well as resources, gold and stuff like that. And, you know, that's helped the market, but it has been in a flat period. But you do have green volatility stops, but the momentum is downward. It might be crossing up here, right around here, PPO or MACD. But when you have a long flat period, it's nice to sometimes wait for a breakout of that previous high before you commit to getting back in. So next we're going to look at sectors. So we had, like, China stocks have been down, internet stocks for quite some time. Again, people are bottom feeding, but you know, it could be a reversal point because we had huge gains right at that point. But you know, if you're patient, you have to be patient. Wait for like this type of scenario. This usually happens above the 50-day moving average. So, but because we're so low, you might have a chance to get in and ride it up to the 50. But the momentum is quite low. So yeah, a lot of the tech ARC was up 4.5%. It was up 18% this week. But you know, in terms of the weekly charts, there's nothing really, a little bit of a hook curve on the momentum potentially. So it is an opportunity, but when you see these huge increases, they're usually above the 50. But we're down at a really low, like even when the March 2020 crash, February, March kind of thing, the momentum was only, it's way lower here than it was. So it is an excellent opportunity, but within within a short period of time, you should see green candles, you know, from the Heiken Ashi perspective. But we'll see. It's a volatile period of time. If it, you know, we'll see if it sustains itself. So you know, you have the cloud, you have all sorts of things. If I click on the scan that I have, I look for things that are actually strong at this point in time. So some, and some of these have been up for quite a while. So you know, but the commodities, there's an interesting ETF called BOAT. It's a shipping ETF. Look at that beautiful uptrend. Like, you know, you want to get in after a pullback, ideally. But what else do we have? BAL is a cotton. So if you're looking at commodities, they've been going up incredibly well. If you, you know, it depends on your outlook, but I mean, I look at the charts, but commodities could, you know, obviously have still, there's inflation and things like that. So another interesting ETF is UGA, it's gasoline. So if you're upset about gasoline prices, you could potentially get into a gasoline fund. There's a bit of a pullback right now, so you want to see where it gets to, and then maybe get in on the next uptrend section. But there's all sorts of things that are commodities related. COPX, which is copper. XME, base metals is looking good. You know, like I said, you want to get this breakout here, ride those uptrends. So most of this is metals and mining and stuff like that. Uranium is a good entry in terms of an earlier point to potentially get in. It's right above the weekly 50 week. Soybeans, XLE. So these are all things, you know, obviously you want to get in earlier here, but that are in nice uptrends. Corn is another commodity, beautiful uptrend. Silver's just poking up above the 50, so it's an entry point. Ideally this moving average of the MACD, or price percent oscillator, is up above the 50, but we're close to that point. Gold, it hit a kind of a previous high and it's pulling back, so if it establishes a new uptrend, that'll be a good entry point. So that's where my scan looks at stocks that are above this price percent oscillator. I mean, above the zero line and an uptrend here. Above the volatility stop and an upward sloping price percent oscillator. But if you turn that off, there's so many tech things that did well this week, and so I want to keep an eye on getting back in on those when that establishment. A couple of tech things that didn't go down as much. They didn't pull back as much with this downtrend was bug, which is cybersecurity. You've probably been hearing a lot about cyber attacks. So you can tell that it's just below the 50 here with dojis, and it's very close to the zero of the price percent oscillator and about to cross. So this is one you definitely want to watch, because it's been strong in terms of it didn't pull back as much. And the other thing I noticed was like this alternative energies, which is a sympathy play for the oil and gas, because of the issues with getting oil and gas and the prices. You're starting to see the solar and there's other ones, clean energy. So it's crossed over, but it's below zero. So that is potentially, and it's got a 50 week right above it. But keep an eye on those. So these are ones that you can get in earlier. And so I think, there's a potential in the future for this to keep going and really take off. But, you have to be patient. This is the way I do it. I try to be patient. But these are green and in an uptrend right now. It's just that they're not quite at the momentum and at the point that I'd want it to be. But wait for, if you can get in there, but also when you crosses that 50. I think that's all I want to say for now. If you want to get a free trial of TC2000, you can see how powerful it is. Check out the link in the description below to get a free trial or $25 subscription. And thanks for everybody who's picked it up. Hope you're enjoying this software. And we'll talk to you in the next video.